Miracle serves. Miracle serves.
We keep having all these problems. How we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of arguing and lying. So goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is Wednesday, and it is May the 8th, 2024, and today the topic is useless pursuits. Yes, happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys had a wonderful Tuesday. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. Main things was your girl's feeling a little bit under the weather. I know I kind of still have some remnants of not feeling so hot or so good or whatever, as they say. But, I am pushing through. Yesterday, main highlights is that even though I did not necessarily feel up to it, I went ahead and pushed through and made my way down to Locust Grove to Tanger Outlet to drop off some wine and different things of that nature to Chico's, to the store Chico's. So to God be the glory that Miracle of Wine is going to be a part of their sip and shop experience. So shout out to Miss Ashley, who's my connection with this opportunity, and yes, I went down that way to drop off the delivery or whatever the case may be, and some of my flyers and stuff like that. And I think the sip and shop is going to be on Friday. So if you guys are in Georgia, you're in Tanger Outlet, and you want to try my wines for free, then go on over to Chico's at Tanger Outlet on Friday, and hopefully you guys can get you a taste, you know what I'm saying? Or you can always just go to miracleofwine.com and order yourself some, or book a wine tasting or whatever you want to do. But anywho, so that was a highlight yesterday because like I said, I had to push through to go ahead and make that drive or whatever. I feel up to it, but I'm glad I did. I went ahead and did it. Went there, came on back home. No big deal, right? Outside of that, I did have my therapy session yesterday as well. I would say that, like, on one hand, I guess it's going well. I mean, it definitely has helped me to renew my heart and mind in a few areas. So, sorry, y'all. I'm still tired even now because I barely got a chance to sleep last night with all the sneezing and stuff. But anywho, long story short, yeah, yesterday with therapy went good, but I also was kind of, again, it could have been because I was still under the weather, but I just was like, just giving her updates and whatnot. And but I noticed she asked me quite a few questions yesterday, and some questions I didn't necessarily have answers to. So it was like, I never thought about this or never thought about that. So I mean, I guess therapy is doing its thing, doing what it's supposed to do, helping me again to renew my heart and mind, as well as I guess challenging me to think about not just say myself, but just everything and whatnot. Getting, I guess, another point of view, even though she's not sharing her opinions that much about, what she feels like about my life or whatever. But anyway, I guess therapy is doing what it's supposed to do. I offered my husband to join me in the session. He's like, maybe next week. So we'll see. I feel like he done said that multiple times. So we'll see what the Lord would do. But so far, so good. I can't complain. So those are the main highlights. I mean, outside of that, I just was eating and trying to rest and sneezing. And don't worry, mama. I had my medicine, stuff like that. And whatnot. So I do feel better. I just feel tired because, again, I was up a lot last night, and then by the time it was time for me to get up now, I had a little bit of a headache and whatnot, and then it didn't help that NJ was like up and not say bothering me, but being a bit of the distraction or whatever. But speaking of him, I guess you guys have him to thank for today's topic. I know, right? Things happen for a reason, right? So what happened was that I let him know that I had a headache, and he knows that sometimes I use these little aromatherapy pens or whatever. They're like little roll-ons or whatever that has different aromatherapy, and one of them is for headaches. So, for example, there was a time that he had a headache. I let him, put a little bit on or whatever. And so when I told him I had a headache, he thought about it and he was like, "Oh, I could get the aromatherapy." And I was telling him I had already had it or whatever. And so he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, sometimes things are useless." And I was like, "Useless. Interesting." So, the Lord, from the mouths of babes, the Lord has spoken to me. Shh, yes, you're the babe. So from the mouth of our babe, the Lord gave me inspiration for today's juice, centered around the word useless. Can you go ahead and dismiss yourself, please? Okay. And so, and that was interesting because again, like I didn't have like a bunch of topics on my heart and mind, but there was a few things on my heart and mind about like maybe this idea of feeling like uh all HE double hockey sticks is breaking loose. Like, have you guys ever felt that before? Like, you feel like everything is going wrong. Another feeling I feel like I've been feeling lately is this idea that, not to say that I feel useless or something, but this whole idea of going through the motions and things of that nature, right? Um, Now again, I think I've made peace with understanding that hey, there's some things that is out of my, control and pay grade and things of that nature. And so, so on one hand, that's on my heart and mind. But then on the other, I mean, sometimes again, the enemy can tempt us with this idea that we're useless, right? That, again, I have this heart and desire, for example, to help people, encourage, inspire. And I guess I do that, but I mean, it can get discouraging when you are, actively, doing that with certain people and it doesn't seem to go anywhere. And you're like, well, Lord, is this what you wanted me to do? Like, is this the wrong person that I'm pouring into? Maybe I should be pouring into somebody else. Who knows? Um, but anyway, so when my son said the word useless this morning, I started to reflect on the word itself, and then ultimately I got led to today's conversation of useless pursuits. So yeah, let's get into it, y'all. When I looked up the definition of useless, this is what it says: not fulfilling or not expected to achieve the intended purpose or desired outcome. Ooh. I mean, that definition alone speaks volumes about a lot of things. And again, I think this is what the enemy tries to make us do and feel useless, right? Feeling like, okay, we can't fulfill our purpose. We won't fulfill our purpose. We're not even expected to fulfill our purpose and things of that nature. But then I guess as I was reflecting on that, I just more so thought about like sometimes the issue is that we again are pursuing things that are useless to pursue. Um, and so as I was going deeper about that, I was starting to think about, what Solomon and Proverbs and things like that, and this whole concept of vanity and all of that. And I did look up the word vanity and whatnot, and it was good. The second definition stood out to me, but I didn't write it down. So you guys can look that up if you need to. But yeah, basically, ultimately, as I started to look up Bible verses and whatnot, these are what was standing out to me this morning to share. Okay, so 2 Timothy 2:4 says, "No soldier gets." Mm, okay, I see. My apologies. I told y'all how my writing is. So here we go. No soldier gets entangled in civilian pursuits, since his aim is to please the one who enlisted him. Again, no soldier is entangled with or gets entangled in civilian pursuit, since his aim is to please the one who enlisted him. So again, this is what we should be doing. This is what, again, if we're going to be a soldier for the Lord or whatever the case may be, then this is what we need to keep in our heart and mind. Again, what are we pursuing? Now, most people, they pursue money, they pursue fame, they pursue all these quote unquote useless things. And I get it, again, we need money, right, to survive, quote unquote, right? Or we need this, or we need that. And again, I can appreciate entertainment and all of these things, but at the end of the day, again, we have to, I guess, ask the Lord and ourselves, like, again, what is it that you want to leave behind? Again, what's the legacy you want to leave? And again, I told you guys how it was for me back during the cultivation period, but just to share it again for anybody that don't know, I felt like there was a particular point in my life where God presented this thought to me. He just was like, hey, I learned that the only thing that was going to last is what I did for God. And at that time, I was definitely pursuing a lot of different things on, my own desires, things of that nature. And ultimately, when I realized again that phrase that the only thing that's going to last is what I do for God, I decided at that time that I wanted to do something that would last, rather than, again, go for vain or empty pursuits or useless pursuits, right? But let's keep talking. Let's keep talking about these verses. So we got Colossians 3:2. It says, set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. At some point, again, I know it's so easy to get wrapped up in the things that are going on in this world. Even this morning, I was taking time to just scroll on social media just to see like what's going on in the world, from different people's perspectives. Obviously, I'm looking like on Instagram and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily, or maybe even Facebook every now and then, just kind of scrolling and seeing what people are in their lives. Seeing the random photos or the random things that people are posting. But and don't get me wrong, like all these things are beautiful in its own way, right? And at its own time. But at the same time, again, maybe, I don't know if people might see me as, so heavily minded that I'm no earthly good or something, but I don't know. I guess my heart and mind isn't on the things that I guess most people, especially in my age range, whatever, is on. Again, it's one thing to pursue, some wealth, you know what I mean, and pursue assets and pursue goals and dreams and things of that nature, achieve awards or whatever it is that you desire, right? But ultimately, I guess you really do have to decide or take a notice of like, what does it gain at the end of the day? And we know that Solomon was somebody that really, really, I guess, got the opportunity to go hard at like whatever it was that he wanted to do. And he left behind what his findings was, right? His research and whatnot. So let's take a look at Ecclesiastes 2:10 and 11. It says this, and whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from. Then I did not keep from them. I kept my heart from no pleasure. For my heart found pleasure in all my toil, and this was my reward for all my toil. If we pause right there real quick. So basically, he's letting us know that, again, he pursued whatever it was that his eyes and heart desired, right? And ultimately, again, the desire or the toil towards the desire, what became his desire at some point. That's what I'm receiving from that. And he ultimately understood that the reward for the toil was the pleasure in the toil. And that was it. So let's keep going and see what 11 has to say. It says, then I considered all that my hands had done and the toil I had expanded in doing it. And behold, all was vanity and striving after wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun. Now I know that we might not want to hear that. That might be poor, right? If you want to think that when you get that house, or you get that marriage, or you get that job, or you get that whatever it is, right? That everything is going to be perfect, right? We want to believe that with our heart of hearts, right? Uh, we want to believe that all we got to do is get, this or that or whatever the case may be, achieve wealth or whatever it is, right? um have X amount of sexual partners, we could go on and on, right, with what people pursue. um but ultimately, again, we can learn from this gentleman here, someone that was, again, afforded the opportunity to do all of that, and what he found at the end of the day. And so, um there was something about that phrase, striving after wind, that stood out to me this morning. Again, I feel like it's probably just another way to say, again, empty pursuits, or, again, the useless pursuits. But I think, again, I guess my challenge for all of us today is to take some time to go deeper about that. So those that are, maybe this milk, what I'm saying, you need a little bit more meat or whatever to go with the little milk that I done shared this morning, then hey, check it out. All you got to do is go to openbible.info, plug in that phrase, uh, striving at the wind, and see what comes up and stands out to you. And then I think another challenge that we all could do, myself included, is to go deeper about this concept. Go deeper in Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Yes, both Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Let's read it. Let's study those things. Because again, outside of Christ, Solomon is up there when it came to the wisdom of humanity. And I think some of us are pursuing wisdom and whatnot as well. And so, I think it would behoove us to, if you're truly interested, again, in gaining wisdom and getting an understanding and things of that nature, then check it. I think we should check these things out. So I think I'm gonna, take a little deep dive myself. I might even just, listen to those two books or whatever, you know, or something, because yeah, taking some time and listening or reading Proverbs and saying for Ecclesiastes, I think might be beneficial. So that's something I'm going to do with the Lord's will. But yeah, that's ultimately the juice this morning, y'all. I mean, I hope you guys are encouraged and inspired. I know that can be, again, disappointing to think that, oh, everything I pursue doesn't mean anything. But I mean, again, like they tell us all the time, you can't take it with you, right? You can't take all the money that you get, or all the money that you get, or anything that, again, God has you to, anything that we do outside of what we do for God. What will it do at the end of the day? Like, you can't take it with you. You're gonna leave it behind. Your family might appreciate it, they might not. The next person's rather gonna get everything that you worked hard for. So it's just something to think about. Again, what do you want to do and leave at the end of the day? And like I said, this is the juice this morning. Let me go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let me give you guys the Bible verse of today. Isaiah 53:5 says, "But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. And the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and who has and with his stripes we are healed." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day. I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice. I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Yeah, we saw that NJ was not on his best behavior towards the end.
I just wanted to say that I'm sorry.
Well, I think there might be some type of discipline that needs to happen so he can understand when Mommy's recording not to do silly things and be a distraction. But yeah, I need to go get ready, y'all. I got a meeting to go to.
Church!
Yes, at the church.
And I'm going in the baby room. It's so fun.
Yes,
Except the big kids.
he really likes to go to the baby's room, apparently. Why don't you like the big kids' room?
Well, it's cool, but it's just that it doesn't have, like, it's not a baby room.
But you're not a baby anymore.
And a little kid's room.
You're a big little kid, right?
I'm not a little kid.
You are.
The babies go in the both classes every morning.
All right. Well, okay, good people. That's what's going on.
I got the same braids like my mom.
No, you have plaits or braids, yeah, and mommy has locks.
Locks?
Yes.
Why is it called locks?
Locks. All right, friends. Y'all have a great. Stop it. Y'all have a great Wednesday, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow.
Also, be church. Go in church.com/videos. Bye bye.
Bye.